we're just going to go ahead and dive into the first story and get into this Kyle Rittenhouse drama. Oh my God, AP, what are you doing to me? Am I not allowed decline? Can I decline this? Okay, good. All right. So Kyle Rittenhouse is being harassed once again by the justice system. He has a pending civil suit against him. The perpetrator who violently attacked and tried to kill Kyle Rittenhouse, his family is suing for damages. Lawsuit can proceed against Kenosha shooter Kyle Rittenhouse, AP reports. So
the wording of this article is so dirty.
It is dirty. Lawsuit can proceed against Kenosha shooter. The shooter, you mean the guy who was defending his community, defending himself, who was chased down at the age of 17 by a pedophile, a repeat offender who spent multiple decades in prison for abusing children. That guy, yeah. So a federal judge in Wisconsin ruled Wednesday that a wrongful death lawsuit filed by the father of a man shot and killed by Kyle Rittenhouse during a violent riot in 2020 can proceed against Rittenhouse police officers and others. So it looks like they're going after everybody. So the father of Anthony Huber, that's a skater boy for those who don't remember, one of the two men shot and killed by Rittenhouse, filed the lawsuit in 2021 accusing the officers of allowing for a dangerous situation that violated his son's constitutional rights and resulted in his death. Anthony Huber's father, John Huber, also alleged the Rittenhouse, who was 17 at the time, a minor, of the shootings, conspired with law enforcement to cause harm to protesters. John Huber is seeking unspecified damages from city officials, officers, and Rittenhouse himself. U.S. District Judge Lynn Adelman on Wednesday dismissed motions filed by Rittenhouse and the government defendants seeking to dismiss the civil lawsuit. So that's basically the gist of it. Geez, what are your thoughts on this blatant harassment of Kyle Rittenhouse?
I'm curious of who blew smoke up the dad's ass to be like, yeah, you can file a lawsuit. It'll go somewhere.
I hope it loses. I hope he goes bankrupt. I hope the family suffers gravely for their stupidity. Again, Anthony Huber was that activist, like he went there willingly.
I just hope that the dad or that some of the lawyers talk some sense into it and just like, hey, this is not worth the trouble. Like it's already dead and it's already done. Just leave it how it lies and just move on. Don't try and like dig yourself into something worse.
Yeah,
because Kyle already came out on top. Don't poke it anymore because all you're gonna do is just if he does get money, it's not gonna be very much. I hope if he wants to sue the state or some of the local officials, go for it. I would not lump Kyle into this.
Yeah, no, certainly. And, he was already acquitted of any wrongdoing whatsoever. And it's like, oh, well, it's the police officer's fault. They didn't make the violent riot safe enough for my skater boy's son to violently attack people. It's like the cops allowed people to defend themselves against my violent, murderous son who got exactly what he deserved. I don't take any comfort in like speaking ill of the dead. However, Anthony Huber, the skater boy, did try to kill and maim Kyle Rittenhouse, or maim and kill Kyle Rittenhouse. And Kyle Rittenhouse
been stories of people being killed with skateboards.
Oh yeah, certainly. Yeah, and and again, this is Kyle Rittenhouse. People reach for his gun. I skateboard. Well, not anymore. I'm too old for it now. But when I did, the skateboards are pretty heavy. And, when people were beefing in the streets and people tried to start shit with us, our skateboard was a weapon. We use that to defend ourselves when we're out in the streets.
You're not allowed to take a skateboard onto an airplane.
Right? Yeah, it's a good point. Good point.
Yeah, like there's even though, it'd be the same as like, hey, you can just bring like a brick anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, I'm going to use this to build a house. It's like, no, you're not.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. So so we got Kyle Rittenhouse in our prayers, our thoughts and prayers, and we're hoping that he comes out on top. There is a legal fund if you find Kyle Rittenhouse on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, wherever he is officially. He's making the rounds, doing events, and he is fundraising for his his legal defense. This is a guy, this young man, this young boy, this kid. I'm always going to see him as a kid because he just looks so young. He's going to be repeatedly harassed and threatened for the rest of his life merely because his existence and his success in the legal sense it asserts the claims that people like me have been making, that those so-called protests, as the AP puts it, they're not really protests. They're violent riots. Those people are murderous. Lynn Wood, despite his glaring faults, he was, he did that promotional video. He did that video basically highlighting what was going on that night. And those violent Black Lives Matter activists were trying to burn down and blow up the gas station. They were terrorizing people in that community. And no, these people aren't saints. They're all criminals, and fuck them. Hopefully it fails. Do you have anything else to add about this?
I'm really irritated that they add like the most unflattering photos.
Yeah. I mean, this is he was obviously in court. He looks very sad. I guess I would be too, knowing that I'm probably going to spend the rest of my life in prison.
How many photos of these? No, but like this isn't the one that's like the current case. This is from the original one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, but like how many photos are there on like the more biased leaning media to where it's like, yeah, let's do a nice photo of Kyle. Let's see him happy. Yeah, like that's not a thing.
Yeah. He's public enemy number one. Like he is a very hated personality. He's up there with like Trump and like Kanye and Nick Fuentes. Even though like he literally did nothing wrong and he's like the sweetest kid ever. But yeah, man, this is still going on, you guys. So Kyle Rittenhouse's story hasn't ended yet. That's just the unfortunate reality for him. He's unable to move on with his life. He's not able to go and get a real job and function in the real world. He has to worry about people like murking him if he's like in school and shit. And people accost him. I would love to do an interview with him. But anyways, so yeah, that's Kyle Rittenhouse. So let's just go ahead and dive into the second story.